Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just did like a part 1 rules, stuff like that, just like a mix of stuff I guess. I'm just talking to you guys about what I do, or not what I do. Yeah, kind of, sort of. So that's that. And then, so here's part 2. So, if you have not seen part 1, you can go over and watch that first and then come over here and watch this one. So we're going to talk about good behavior and bad behavior. I kind of mixed them in part 1 and talked about like a lot of different things and stuff like that and rules and just tons of stuff. So that's that. So if someone is not behaving or whatever, and I said this like I think in part 1, there are some rules and stuff to that, and if you're not gonna behave, then you get your name on the board, and if you keep going, then you get check mark 1, 2, and I think 3 maybe or something like that, and lunch detention, and parents are called, and detention, and after school, and okay, I'll be in a minute. Just there's so much that, like, I want my classroom to be safe. I want it to be, I want it to be safe, and I want it to be cozy, I guess you want to say. If someone ended up coming in, sometimes I like me or a different teacher stand by the door and greet the students inside the classroom. And we can tell by their faces if they're okay, if they're not okay. If they're not okay, then we will grab them, step aside, talk to them about what's going on and stuff like that. But a lot of times in the mornings or something like that, sometimes we'll end up taking your journals and writing it in, or sometimes mornings can get chaotic and craziness and whatnot. So then we'll do it like around lunchtime. Well, not around lunchtime, but on depends. Sometimes we'll do it after lunch because it'll be like the rest time, nap time, not nap time, but like rest time. Like you can do your own thing. It's quiet time. Read, write, stuff like that. Talk to us about what's going on, either if it's at home, either if it's at school, something like that. And we fix some of those problems, but some of them will come up to us and say this and blah 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 and whatnot. And some people will not go to the timeout room because some parents will have papers and will send them to the students every year if they what their health issue is and stuff like that. If they have whatever's going on in their health stuff, then sometimes we won't send them to the timeout room, and sometimes we'll say, "I'll go to the chair," or sit on the bed for a little bit, or sit in the teacher's chair, or something like that. And then we'll like talk to them, or sometimes we'll go out in the hallway and talk to them, or whatever it could be. Sometimes you're too busy, and we'll try to talk to each student one-on-one, but there's so much that we could do for them, and there's so much they could do. It's just them, I guess. Us. Whatever. So like I said it, I think in part 1, I think I mentioned this, and like I wanted to be a teacher, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it, but if I do, it probably will be like a stay-home teacher or something like that. Who knows? I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it, and it'll probably be in the future though, actually. So, and I'm still thinking about all these dreams, and you can have these dreams and stuff, but then some of them will come true and some of them won't until future or something. But anyway, back to what I was saying is some of the students have a hard time, and it's just, I guess, them. And so we try to help them as much as we can, whatever their issue is. And some of them will end up going in the timeout room and sit there for a while until they get a grip on it and they think about what they've done and so on. Some people, I say, like some people or some students will, rip up paper at their spot, and I say, okay, you can retape that, and then, whatever. Some students won't do it. What you're, anyways, some students will not listen at all, and some students have a hard time with certain things, certain subjects, certain whatever. And we don't have a lot of time to do one-on-one with a whole bunch of students to work with them. Like here and there we will, like goals and stuff like that, yes. But we want to make sure we have all these goals, and we want to manage them, we want to get caught up on them, and like on math or social studies or English language arts or gym or whatever it could be. We want whatever it could be. And so some people will come in to the and here a year behind, 2 years behind, 3 years behind, and we don't have that kind of time to catch them up. But we'll have like tests, and we'll have certain amount of quizzes and certain things like that, and we'll kind of help them with through that kind of stuff if they need it. Some students are above and be like above other students, and some people are okay, and some people are right in the middle, and so it just depends what their levels are and ages and so on. We'll try to read out loud with the students also and say, okay, what happened in chapter 1? Let's write about what's going on in chapter 1. Who was in it? What happened? When did it happen? And just different things like that. Who, what, when, and where. And we'll talk about that and we'll just like go through it and stuff like that. Some students have a hard time doing that, and that's why we have these teacher meetings, so we can have a grip on all these students that will be trying to exit soon, that will be coming in, some, whatever it could be. And so we ended up having some other staff in here and in different classrooms to help out whatever the issue could be, or whatever if they need help or something like that. But we try to help them as much as we can, but then we also want them to do it on their own, because we won't be there with them for their whole life. We'll be there only for a certain amount of time, and it's just that. And we wanted to teach them how to do, here and there we'll teach them how to do laundry, or how to do dishes, or how to do certain things like that. So, like, pretend like we'll have locks on some of the real doors have already locks on them and stuff like that, but we don't actually lock them, for students and stuff like that. We'll like pretend locking them, and they'll try to get in, but they won't really get in. And so then we'll end up locking the kitchen cabinets, kitchen stuff like that. Because in the past, there was students that were, oh my gosh, yeah. Ugh. We had so much help in the past and now, that we also have a cop that comes, and like maybe a couple of them. And here and there, they'll come on time to see what's going on into different classrooms or whatever it could be. And also a person that comes to the kitchen will check the kitchen stuff, the refrigerator, the freezer, just that kind of stuff also. So we have so much stuff that's been going on, and good thing we have cops that if we need to actually talk to, and if we can't get a grip on the student's behavior, then we said, okay, then you can go to timeout room. If that student is on the list to go down there. And I think a lot of my students in the classroom will end up going down there. There's a few students that don't go, that can't go down there, so then they'll just sit in the chair or on the bed, like I said, or something like that, and we'll talk and we'll whatever. And sometimes they'll just want some quiet time, and I say, okay, when you're ready, then we can talk, and whatever. And we'll try to fix the problem. We'll talk to other students if it's the other students or whatever it could be. I know a lot of people are bullied and stuff like that, and it's very hard. Some people like to ignore it. Some people are trying to. Some people get really irritated and stuff. And I get that. It's just life, and it's just out there. And especially when kids come into the world and you want to teach them how to behave, and just a lot of different things that's been going on. And a lot of kids will have bad days frustrating days, happy days, sad days, any kind of days, and it's okay. Sometimes I think we'll have to have a schedule, and we'll say, okay, this week or this day and this day and this time we'll have this subject and this subject, or whatever, whatever is going on. We'll have this subject break, or whatever, something like that, or subject, lunch, rest, and then whatever, or maybe gym class or whatever in there too. And sometimes it's hard to teach, but then also it is fun. It is exciting. It's hard too, I know. And it's just that. But some of my students, when they're not behaving and stuff, I said, okay, your name will be on the board and this and that and blah blah blah. And, they know not to do it again. If they do it again, they go to timeout room, or they will do one of the, I don't know, something. But we also have the timeout room just in case if they want to go or if they need to go. Some students will come up to some of the staff and say, can I go to the timeout room? I need a minute or something like that. And we'll say, yes, you can. So if they walk down there by themselves, they'll have 5 minutes. And then we'll come down there. If they're ready to talk and whatnot, we'll just go through their head. And we'll try to talk to them through it. And then we're like, you know what, that you did really good. We're not mad, we're not frustrated at you, but you did really good that you decided to take this path and not the other path, And some students have a hard time doing that, and some students will hit other students, and it's like, okay, it's time to exit everyone else out of the classroom and put them into a different classroom or into a different room. And sometimes I'll say, okay, you can walk down by yourself or we can get help. What's your choice? We'll have a couple choices there or something like that. Or sometimes we'll say, okay, you have a minute to go to choose. And if the minutes pass and if you're not making the option, then we'll call for help and we'll end up getting help. And then they will end up coming, the in-house people will end up coming to one of the rooms and help us get the student out of the classroom, so then the other class, the students will come back into the classroom and then we can get started and back to what we were learning and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just hard sometimes with kids, with students, with whatever. We we're like a mini counselors, teachers, whatever you want to call us. And I don't know, but I do try to help as much as I can with other students, kids, whatnot. But some of them do not listen very well, and I can see that. And some people will end up ripping paper or throwing stuff across the room or swearing at teachers, or, some teachers need to get a grip on this, like real teachers. and get their act together. I'm not saying names because it could be any teacher out there. But I'm just saying, But sometimes if you're at home and you're teaching at home, you probably could have like schedules. You probably could have your own rules and stuff like that. And I can see that in some videos that I watch. And it's very hard for some people that will go through that kind of stuff and whatnot, and whatever it could be. So I try to have, okay, instead of this subject, we're gonna just rest for a little bit, write in our journals, and then if you want to talk about it in front of everyone, you can. If you don't, then you don't have to. So some students will do that, like write in journals and share it with us teachers and stuff like that. It's just hard sometimes and whatnot, and whatever it could be. So that's that. So I have to go. If you guys have any questions about rules, about any subjects or anything like that, if you guys need help, talk through it or anything like that, let me know. I'll have my Instagram and Facebook links down below. Giveaway information will be also down below. Stuff like that. That's that. Yeah, I have to go take care of a couple students, and then who knows what else. So, can get back to whatever. So, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.